Water and power remain cut off at Manus Processing Center. The silence of domestic violence. And Lae Community wants probe into NHC evictions.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me with Wednesday's news. Water and electricity supply into the Manus Regional Asylum Processing Center in Lombrum remain shut as hundreds of refugees refuse to move to their proposed new resettlement site. These refugees told media personnel in Manus that they are refusing to move because of safety reasons. Meanwhile, Immigration Minister Petrus Thomas maintains that the PNG government does not have any responsibility in the processing of the refugees. He says Australia needs to state clearly how it will continue to support PNG after the centre closes.
The Australian-administered detention centre was ordered closure following a Supreme Court decision in 2016. In the months leading up to October 31st, which was the date set to shut the detention centre, there were a number of meetings between PNG and Australian authorities on ways forward after the closure. However, in an interview with Minister responsible Petrus Thomas, it was revealed that Australia is yet to discuss the revised resettlement deal with PNG authorities.
As we've said, we've concluded our part and we've accomplished the purpose of it now. Now it's the next review is going to be how to resettle the refugees that has been identified. And most importantly, we'll be working on a time frame on when they should resettle the refugees.
A team of government officials, including Chief Immigration Officer Solomon Kanta, are in Manus to ensure the transferal is conducted within the court order. Meanwhile, hundreds of refugees are refusing to move to the new site because of safety reasons. They are still at the Manus Detention Center in Lombrum despite electricity and water supply being cut. And in Port Moresby, the lawyer representing the asylum seekers has filed an application to delay the transferal of the refugees. The matter will be heard once the Chief Justice appoints a single court judge to hear this case. The application was filed on grounds that the safety of the refugees must be guaranteed at the East Lorengau Transit Center, and the transfer is done without breaching human rights laws. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Tune into Point of View with Tanya Nugent tonight at 10 p.m. where Media Council of PNG President Neville Choi and Warrior Culture's Eddie Isla will be talking more about this issue. The culture of silence around domestic violence, the impact it has on children and the signs to look out for. Madang police are not able to counter the increasing number of armed robberies in the province to lack of logistics and fuel. For the last 2 months, police in Madang had no fuel to refill all police vehicles. The provincial police commander says this has resulted in police not responding to incidents promptly. Martha Louise with this report.
According to police reports, in the last 12 months, criminals have used boats to escape after committing robberies. Provincial Police Commander Jacob Singura says police were not able to provide immediate responses to recent armed robberies. PPC Singura says police are not able to pursue criminals by boat as they do not have a police boat. They used to have one, but it is no longer working.
In a sense, yes. We are not up to countering such incidents because of the lack of logistics that we have in terms of our mobility, with lack of fuel, and also with no proper boat out to police the waterfront within the business hub of Madang.
In addition, all police vehicles currently in use in the province are in dire need of service. The police vehicles are not in good condition to pursue criminals.
For the last 2 months, Madang police have not had fuel to quickly respond to such incidents. And also, we don't have a reliable boat because most of the getaways, as we see, is through the waterfront.
On Monday, 5 men armed with a pistol and a knife held up an employee of Sepas Limited in front of the ANZ Bank. Police say the thugs stole 9,500 kina and fired a shot. They used a Toyota Land Cruiser to escape. The armed men left the vehicle at the Lutheran District headquarters and escaped on a waiting boat. Police are investigating. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Gary Baki, when asked to comment, said Madang is similar to other provinces in the country. Baki said Madang has not fully recovered from the police headquarters' decision to shut down the barracks and move all police personnel.
You know very well, once you send a police officer back to his or her home province, his home, and it's very difficult to bring them in. That's the issue. So our recovery process in terms of having to redevelop Madang, it's taking a long time for us. In terms of priority in the distribution of our resources, I'm not going to say that Madang will take priority. The entire country needs policemen and women to be sent to the regions. This is not a role that the police department will do alone. We need the support of the provincial governments to assist us in the redevelopment of any police resource in the provinces. So I know I have met up briefly with the new governor for Madang, so I'll be having discussions with him to see how best we can support this exercise.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
Members of the 3 Mile community in Lae have called on the provincial government to investigate evictions that have happened on former National Housing Corporation properties. Yesterday, members of the community gathered outside a house in support of a family who were being forcefully evicted. They had been living there for more than 40 years.
Late yesterday, 10 members of the Boafek family, originally from Finchafen, were locked out of their home. The original owner, the family's late patriarch, Minka Boafek, had acquired this land in 1972 on which this house is built. He built the house himself. His 4 children grew up in it.
Na papa blumi am la carpenter man. Emet carpenter man, so emet spending expense belong am antable this la ground. Buy mol kappa, palang, nil, or something they making this la house. Time me plan no born yet. Big pla brata blumi, firstborn brata blumi, daburi one pla. All been sleep lo am pla lily house na papa blumi and been making this la house.
Yesterday, police arrived with a buyer. The family found out that a title had already been obtained by another family member and the house had already been sold.
As a leader, me got people concerned online all stable all the kago kamara side lo today this time where me look me blame no kupla.
Members of the community came out yesterday in support of the family. They're now calling on the provincial government and the governor to initiate a separate investigation into this and other claims.
Displacing the community, displacing the school-age children, this is unrealistic, unjustified for Emilio straight passing Papua New Guinea now come up nice time.
There are several other cases like this in Lae City that remain unresolved. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
In the news ahead, Lutherans celebrate 500 years of Reformation. Defence Force Retirement Fund launches new online service and Oil Search announced new interests. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Evangelical Lutheran Church faithfuls in Western Highlands Province celebrated the 500-year anniversary of Reformation in Mount Hagen. The event was celebrated worldwide yesterday to commemorate the reformer Dr. Martin Luther of Germany, who became the father of the Protestant churches. The event was attended by Governor General Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadai and his wife Lady Anna and leaders of the Lutheran Church.
The celebration started off with singing, presenting of dramas, a church service, and ended with speeches from the invited guests. It was a time when believers were encouraged to reach out to society and share the gospel, as well as addressing issues such as gender-based violence, drugs and homebrew, prostitution and child abuse. The Youth and Religion Office Deputy Secretary Warren Marape, on behalf of the Community Development Ministry, said the national government has already started a state-church partnership program to address such issues.
Let us work together to reach out to these marginalized people in our community, and that is really living the life and ministry of Jesus Christ.
Governor General Sebob Dadai attended the 500-year celebration in Mount Hagen as a generation of the Lutheran missionaries of Kabung in Morobe province. 131 years ago, the Gigi's great-grandfathers received the Lutheran good news and trekked for months up to the highlands and shared it with them.
500 years ago finished. You may celebrate him today. But there's la reformation, la transformation, there's la spiritual reform, la transform, and must continue.
Sir Bob was accompanied by his wife, Lady Anna, who also encouraged the church to make awareness to stop polygamy marriages, bride price ceremonies, and to encourage weddings.
Education can go, agriculture can go, business can go, but still, baiga heavy. Suppose this la mama was side.
Western Highlands Governor Pius Wingti told the faithful yesterday that historical evidence has proven that PNG, especially Western Highlanders, have lived over 5,000 years ago. Governor Wingti said even though Christianity was just introduced, some of the teachings in the Bible were practiced by our forefathers, such as respect, honesty, not stealing and lying.
So sambla tradition blow you me, sambla belief blow you me. Only good belief.
Wingti told the Lutherans that when celebrating, they must reflect on some of our history and beliefs that are good for society. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
In Lae, a 65-year-old man who witnessed the 500 years of Lutheran Reformation Day celebrations yesterday says young people should take lead in spiritual activities. The young people should also refrain from causing disorder in the communities. He said it is everyone's responsibility to help educate an individual.
The 500 years Reformation celebration in Lae yesterday was hosted at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Stadium. More than 3,000 people packed the stadium to observe the ceremony. Jim Boingu, a Lutheran for 65 years, who also attended, was delighted to witness the event.
Me, kabig pla amamasturong celebrating this last day. Biyan ino na blukim this last 500 years ken. And first time na. Even all Tumbuna Commander but too. All by no na brixim 500 years long celebrating this la.
Boingu and his wife were always passionate to train and educate young people about good qualities of life and help them take part in spiritual activities. He told us yesterday that he was thankful to be alive to witness the event. His wife passed away in 2014. The 500 years Reformation celebration signifies the day Martin Luther disagreed to some of the teachings of his church, the Roman Catholic, and left the faith. He then formed the Lutheran Church in 1517.
How all beginning by bringing Lutheran Church ego forward there, establishing handblom, ogara papa mama, now leaders long, lining more little beginning long, almost bring him up next level, long church must equal.
People from different churches in Lae also took part to celebrate the event. It was a spiritual occasion to build stronger communities in unity in the spirit of Reformation. Young people led the celebration in Lae yesterday. Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
Ronald Jack, a health advocate in East New Britain Province, has called for more awareness of health and cross-cutting issues to be done at the village level. Mr. Jack, a veteran nursing officer, says social and health awareness are not reaching the bulk of the population living in remote areas of the country. He says there has to be a paradigm shift on how these issues are handled so that more positive results can be achieved with little amount of money spent. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
Ronald Jack is a health education advocate who wants more awareness to be done to address health and social issues facing many Papua New Guinean communities, issues relating to gender-based violence and health issues like tuberculosis, HIV and diabetes. Mr. Jack has worked in the health sector as a nursing officer for 27 years. In 2015, he retired and hopes to translate his knowledge and experiences into something beneficial to communities. Jack has founded a family-run consultancy firm, the Palm Spring Consultancy Advocacy Training, using his past experiences. He hopes to partner with interested organizations to fill in the void left unattended within the health and social sector.
So we realized now it is the time to go out and educate people face to face. Showing them all pictures, talk long all, so when they have issues to raise, you address it right on the spot.
Jack may be a lone voice calling for a shift in the approach towards how health and social issues are being handled. This is what he wants to contribute to solve the unprecedented increase in statistics of people living with HIV, TB and others who are suffering from social violence. But he has been having difficulty convincing the national and provincial government and other authorities to fund his community outreach programs to replace those mostly done within the confines of hotels.
Long line of running on workshops after workshops after workshops. I think we look at running the workshops or otherwise funding those people who are now doing work in the communities so that only educating online straight on face-to-face education.
In recent years, the National Health Department and international health agencies, such as the World Health Organization, have continuously reminded us about the deficiencies within the country's health sector, and most of that information can be recited from memory. Health experts say over the last 20 years, the government has spent millions of kina in delivering basic health services and programs to a mere population of the country, mostly living in the urban areas. But Mr. Jack believes that there has to be a paradigm shift in the current health structure so that health services are delivered to the bulk of the population with little amount of money spent. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
Over 3,000 members of trustees for the Defence Force Retirement Benefit Fund Accumulation Scheme launched a new online service for its members. The scheme operates the same way as Number One Super and Nest Fund, and the product is designed to allow members the benefit of accessing their superannuation information online in real time.
The online portal is a service product offered to members of the new DFRBF accumulation scheme designed to allow members the benefit of accessing their superannuation information online. Chairman Moses Koiri said the service will cut down on time and effort taken to go into the office to obtain information.
One of the benefits, the prime benefits of having the service available to members is so that the members can save themselves that trip to come here and find out what the status of their savings are, so that they the information or access to information that is available to them is at their fingertips.
To access the service, members will be required to register for it. The registration process requires members to obtain a registration form from the CTSL office, and apart from providing the usual proof of personal identification particulars. The form will require members to provide a valid email address or mobile number to enable them to register online.
Mobile number, the surname and the member number, and it will generate a token from the database which will be sent via SMS or form, and using that form they can enter the token from the text into this onto the screen, and then they'll enter a new password. After they do that, it will allow them to log in after the they'll be able to log in and view the details.
Chairman Koiri said members should make the most of this opportunity to enhance their ability to access information regarding their retirement benefits. Stacey Yallo, National EMTV News.
IT professionals from the public and private gathered today to learn more about the offering by HP Enterprise, organized by Datec through its technology forum. Participants were given an insight into how HPE could assist organizations improve on different aspects of data management, including key areas of data security. Oil Search has acquired interest in the Alaska North Slope. In an announcement to the markets today, Oil Search revealed it would be acquiring 25.5% interest in the Pika unit, as well as 37.5% in the Horseshoe Block. Located in Alaska's North Slope, the assets were purchased from Armstrong Energy LLC and GMT Exploration Company LLC for a total of $400 million. According to Oil Search Managing Director Peter Botten, Oil Search has been seeking to acquire oil interests to complement our PNG gas assets to create a more balanced portfolio that is less exposed to one single commodity and one country. He adds that the interests acquired provide a unique opportunity for Oil Search to participate in a world-class, high-returning, proven oil province that can add material value to the company. Most importantly, Botten adds that this acquisition does not impact the company's focus or ability to deliver exciting growth projects in PNG and is consistent with its vision to deliver top quartile returns to shareholders of Oil Search. And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.3115 in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.304 $0.393 Australian dollars, $0.2572 euro and 34.18 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee, cocoa and copra closed the day lower. Palm oil and copper closed higher and crude oil is trading the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 28.5 points higher, the ASX closed at 28.75 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 29.09 points higher. Among stories after the break, the latest terror attack in New York City. Stay with us for details. Welcome back to the news. Over 500 teachers around the country are now in Port Moresby to commence the Grade 12 examination marking this week. The 28,500 Grade 12 students who sat for 16 national exam subjects this year will be selected through to tertiary institutions after the marking via an online system recently announced by the Department of Higher Education.
From 160 secondary and national high schools in the country, 510 markers, including 5 chief markers from tertiary institutions, gathered today to start on the Grade 12 marking. While 5 different venues have been assigned for the marking to take place for the next 2 weeks, some venues commenced marking since Monday. Education Minister Nick Kuman said TFF has given every child in the country an opportunity to be educated, where 2.2 million children are now in school systems since 2016.
This is the success of our investment in TFF alone. This growth rate is a testament of the government's stubborn attitude to ensure that every child in this country is given an opportunity to access school system in our country from elementary all the way to grade 12. And you could see that our growth rate not only grows, but the retention rate at every level of our school system continue to give us a very good signal that our TFF program and other government interventions have worked.
He also stated that challenges relating to the TFF policy have also been closely looked at, and the government through the Department of Education will be undergoing structural reforms soon to address the issue.
Are we doing the right thing? Are the content that we are delivering to our students
are strong enough and prepare them well enough at the secondary level that they can be able to go to our tertiary institution in the country. Today you are here not to listen to the minister who talk about how best you can become a teacher. But this is the only opportunity that I have today to talk to you again.
Command said students must be prepared to face challenges after grade 12 and teachers must play their role in setting the right foundation. He added that certain core subjects such as math, English and science needs further emphasis where the department will be focusing on to prioritize to achieve quality results.
And as a scientist by profession, I want to see that we must give a lot of emphasis in science and math. And today I can announce to you that I had a really good meeting with the PNG Teachers Association executives. We all agree in principle that it's about time we'll bring some experts from outside to come and help us in the 341 high schools right throughout Papua, particularly in science and maths. And obviously, as Marcus, you will tell me after all these processes are complete through the secretary whether our students have done well in science.
Stacey Yalo, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas, as children were filing out of school in New York's Manhattan, a truck drove at high speed down a footpath, hitting pedestrians and cyclists before ramming into a school bus. 8 people have been killed and dozens injured. The driver emerged from the vehicle waving what's said to be a fake gun and was shot by police before being taken into custody.
A riverside bike path in Lower Manhattan, where cyclists were mown down by a vehicle which appears to have deliberately mounted the curb. Eyewitnesses described a white pickup truck being driven at high speed. Moments afterwards, the truck appears to have rammed another vehicle outside one of New York's most prestigious schools. And this footage appears to show the suspect leaving the vehicle and brandishing what police later said was an imitation firearm. Pupils at the school told us how gunfire then erupted.
Yeah, he was running around like with a gun. And so police from Stye came out and then like people called the cops and so they were coming in. And the guy fired a couple shots before and then there was like a shootout between like the police and the guy. And that's when they started to close down everything and we had to go.
And he was screaming in the street. He looked frustrated, panicked, confused.
Police cleared some of Manhattan's busiest streets. And on the police scanner, the panic of the moment.
Central, be advised, we have multiple people on the ground from Chambers all the way up to Houston. All the way from Houston to Chambers. There's multiple people on the ground, Central. We need buses from Houston all the way down to Chambers.
All this unfolded within the shadow of the New World Trade Center, where New Yorkers are reminded daily of the ever-present threat of terror. And it didn't take them long to confirm that New York City had again been the target of terror.
It's a very painful day in our city. Horrible tragedy on the west side. Let me be clear that based on the information we have at this moment, this was an act of terror and a particularly cowardly act of terror aimed at innocent civilians, aimed at people going about their lives who had no idea of what was about to hit them.
Once again, New York has been attacked on a beautiful autumn day and just yards from one of its most sacred and one of its most fortified sites.
The Duchess of Cambridge has made her first solo public engagement after recovering from her chronic morning sickness during the early weeks of her 3rd pregnancy. Today she put on her tennis whites and hit a ball around with some young fans of the sport.
London, knife crime is up 34% in a year.
She arrived dressed down, ready to play. The weeks of chronic pregnancy sickness seemed to be over for the Duchess of Cambridge. A keen tennis player herself, she took part in some children's lessons at the National Tennis Centre. She told coaches that she's keen for her own son, Prince George, to play, but said for now, he just wants to whack the ball. As patron of the Lawn Tennis Association, this was a chance to see how tennis is trying to get more young people to pick up a racket.
It was actually really exciting because first time meeting a royal family, I I nearly screamed, and it was so fun as well.
Last night it was the turn of the Duke of Cambridge to be charmed by the children he met here at the Pride of Britain Awards. Susie McCash was one of those honoured. She was just 4 years old when her mum collapsed at home. Susie called the emergency services and was keen to tell the Duke all about it.
Did you save your mum? How did you do that? But it's amazing, you saved mummy and now mummy's all better. That's the main thing. I know you were 4, you see, I have a 4-year-old boy called George, and if I gave him a telephone, I do not know what he would do.
It seems the stories of bravery beyond their years will be taken home to Kensington Palace.
Chukai Sports is next. We'll update you on the PNG Games and Michael Marum's team for the next World Cup campaign. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. PNG Games Host Organising Committee Chairman Ruben Kautu and West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutuvel told the media that the Games are set for November 18th to the 2nd of December. Sports Foundation CEO Peter Tamalili says the facilities on all venues are Games ready. The only delay now is to confirm provincial participation. With only 17 days to the Games, Vice Sports Minister Wesley Raminai is encouraging provincial governors to help their teams to the Games.
With 17 days to the BSP PNG Games, today West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutuvel said the National Sports Federation has been working closely with the Host Organising Committee to ensure that Kimbe delivers the most successful games to date. He says in terms of facilities and infrastructure developments, finishing touches are progressing well, ensuring they meet the deadline.
As anyone would understand, it's a PNG Games, PNG grassroots games. So we don't have all those luxury facilities, but it is enough to conduct our PNG Games.
Yeah, all the accommodation and every other logistics that have been prepared for the provinces have been ready, and I think the teams are working with my team to make sure that the accommodation is secured, and most have paid the fees to be accommodated.
Sports Foundation CEO Peter Tsimalili Jr. says key activity areas are being prioritized to enhance collaboration with provincial governments.
It's going to happen, and the word games ready. It's going to be games ready. Not one event that we've ever hosted we've been 100% prepared for it, but we've always been games ready, and that's the big difference.
There is no other time when the whole country comes together. Only during PNG Games, that's when the whole country comes together. There are other times when we have other celebrations, other events that goes on, but there's no other better time than the PNG Games.
While accommodation and transport obligations have been met, Governor Mutuvel says the government will assist with subsidies for airfares with Air Niugini. 9 teams have fully funded and secured their sports in Kimbe and are games ready, while others are yet to clarify on the number of sports and number of athletes they will be sending. Governor Mutuvel says together with the people of West New Britain, Kimbe is looking forward to playing host to one of the country's biggest sporting events. The biggest attraction at the Games will be the main sports precinct, San Remo Sports Ground, which is currently under close supervision in preparations for the opening ceremony. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Commonwealth coach Michael Marum makes changes for the World Cup campaign. That's after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. PNG LNG Commonwealth coach Michael Marum has made one change to the starting lineup ahead of this weekend's clash against the Irish. He has placed Kurt Baptiste in the starting hooker position.
Stagroth Amin has been named as the 16th man on Marum's extended 21-man bench. Moses Meninga and Nixon Put have also been named in the team. Those are the only changes in an otherwise unchanged lineup from last weekend's clash against the Welsh.
The sellout crowd, they certainly made their...
Rod Griffin still remains out of the team after suffering a knee injury before their opening match. James Igiaro will come off the bench while Wartovo Puara has been named as player number 21. Marum will finalize his 18-man squad on Friday. The Irish have stuck with the same team for this weekend's match. After Ireland's win over Italy, they afforded plenty of respect of the remainder of their tournament. The gritty Irish team would be difficult to beat after their stellar performance in round 1. Elijah Levet, National, EMTV Sports.
The Irish touched down in Port Moresby today ahead of their clash against the Commonwealth on Saturday. They were welcomed by a traditional Sing Sing group at the Jacksons International Airport.
The excited Irish players walked out to a rousing welcome by the people. It's the first time for many of the players to visit Papua New Guinea. Coach Gary Aston says he has worked with a few PNG players over the past few years and is excited to have visited PNG.
Like Menzieri, who's been with me for 9 years now. Gary Lowe, that's been in Mexico, has been over the last couple of years. So I'm excited to come into this great country and meet some more wonderful people.
This weekend's match between PNG and Ireland is considered to be the match of the round, with many watching to see who comes out on top, proceeding to the quarterfinals.
They're a good team, they're at home, you can see what it means to the people of PNG to rugby, what rugby means to them, so it's going to be an enthralling game and we're really looking forward to it.
Ireland captain Liam Finn is privileged to visit the country. He was impressed with the Cumul's 50-6 win over Wales and says they will need a good plan to counter PNG's physicality on game day.
It's going to be a big challenge, a very good team, Papua New Guinea. We watched the game last week for our hotel and we were really impressed by the Papua New Guinea team, so we know we're going to have to come up with a really good plan to try and counteract the power and the strength of the Papua New Guinea team, but we'll do our best to prepare this week and make sure it's a good game on Sunday.
Brave and strong, they know that the PNG are going to come out and really up the ante and be tough and physical and trying to dominate us. We just need to be smart, the weather's going to play a big part of it. And obviously there's going to be 20,000 people out there screaming and shouting, which we're just going to enjoy it.
Finn says to get a win over the Cumul's in Papua New Guinea will be a big achievement for the team.
To win over here probably be as big of a win as Ireland have ever had in the World Cup history, and certainly personally it would be a massive achievement to get a win over here in such a difficult place to come and play, and what's no doubt going to be a hostile environment on Sunday, but we'll give it our best shot.
The Irish will take part in different community engagements before their match on Sunday. The match kicks off at 4 p.m. at the Oil Search National Football Stadium. Elijah Levet, National, EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. So weather details when we come back.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Weather forecast for tonight in the southern region only. Brief showers in Port Moresby and Kerma, fine in Daro and mostly fine in Alotau and Popondetta.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the way it is this Wednesday, 1st of November 2017. From the entire news team, I'm Helen Seah. Pleasant viewing. Good night.